a drop-in session. So you let me know how can I help you. Let me know your questions, and let's do it as a Q&A session. So yeah, please let me know whether you have any. Sorry, I think sorry, I think I was confused with the links. And did you hear what I mentioned before? Hello? Sorry, I was muted. Sorry about that. Yeah. Uh, Rather than a lecture, this is a drop-in session. You can ask whatever questions from me, and let me know how can I help you, right? So it's not a lecture. So please ask a question and let me know how can I help you with your research proposal, and at which stage are you now, and what are the things you want to know from me. Guys, this is not a lecture. This is drop-in session. So let me know what you have, what are the things I can describe to you if it's not clear anything. So yeah, good. Yuan, sorry if I mispronounce your name.
I was wondering about the 3,000 words we're writing. So what kind of it like a reading review? Do we have to contain some like critical thinking or examples? Like what is like the topic of the dissertation? I just want to ask. Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah, let me share with you. Have you gone through the brief?
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, and I just confused about the organization of the dissertation. I mean, not dissertation, it's about the words. Yeah.
Yes, let me share with you.
Thank you.
Let me share the screen. So in terms of the research methodologies event, can you see the screen now?
Yeah, I can see your screen.
Yes. So in part one, you have to develop an outline proposal. So the outline research proposal for your dissertation using your critical reflection on research methods 2000 word paper. Presenting a critical reflection on research method lecture series. This is not a fully developed proposal, it says here, and is not expected to be as comprehensive, but instead should define the essential components of your dissertation research in order to guide the first stage of the work. So instead of that, so here it mentioned you should include initial literature review, proposed research question, proposed research method, and then a bibliography. So if you were listening to my last week lecture, which I did based on my PhD research as well. So the final the achievement of this module would be developing a research proposal as part one. So it can be beneficial for your dissertation as well if you do this, if you use the same research proposal for the dissertation. So it's kind of a research proposal, developing a research proposal. Do you get it, Shane Van? If I
Yeah.
Sorry.
Because I'm so when we writing about the literature review, we actually should relate it to our dissertation topic, right?
Yes,
Oh,
as I think it's rather than like how should I say? So it's like you need to select a research topic, and then you need to do a kind of literature analysis and defining your research question, and then find a propose a research method, and let's say it's kind of a proposal to your research. I'm not sure whether you need to use the same research proposal for your dissertation. I'm not too sure about that. I think so. Uh, uh, let's check it with Lucy. Uh, Lucy, if you can either as a reply to our chat, please let us know whether should the students use the same proposal for the dissertation. Is it necessary? Or can they select any research topic and develop the research proposal based on that? I think what I will do is I will have the next drop-in session next week as well at the same time. So what I will do is I will check this point with Lucy and I will get back to you guys. Yeah, will it help? So the main thing is you need to develop this research proposal. If you can see as I shared with you. This is not the one I'm showing it now as part one. The main aim of this module is to developing a research proposal. What I'm not sure is whether to use the same proposal for your dissertation. So I will check it with the with Lucy and we'll get back to you.
Okay,
Is
thank
it
you.
all right, Sharon?
Yeah.
Okay. What else? What are the other questions I can help with? So is it clear to you what you need to do?
Hello. Hi.
Hi,
Chat
yes.
to. Um, well, I wanted to ask a quite a specific question about research methodology, because I know there's variation of different kind of like method. Um, Obvious, it's been taught like at the beginning, but in a very like long series, different courses. But
Yeah.
is there any like sort of a resource that give a clear like a simply idea like what how many kinds of them, and then what actually applies to specific for students better to understand that okay, this is work for my criteria, or you know, it's because now I know there are many of them, but I kind of like a little bit lost of like which one should be using, especially when you're not very clear like what you are going to write.
Very good question, Yeshe. It's quite normal because there are the simple answer to your question is there is no one book or no one text summarizing all the research methods into you, right? The thing is that the reason for this is there are various types of research methods, and research methods may differ from the approach you take. Let's say if you are taking a qualitative, if you are doing a qualitative research, the research methods are different, and if it's quantitative, there are different research methods. And then different types of the let's say the depending on the research topic that you are selecting, the area you are doing. Let's say urban planning research, there are different types of research methods. And then let's say you are doing a kind of a social science based research, ethnography, those type of research methods are different. And then if you are doing a kind of mapping based research, then the research methods again different. Likewise, because of that, there is no one type of document that you can refer. The best approach as an answer. So I can't just stop by saying there are different research methods and you have to go and find. As an approach, as you said, in the student level, specifically when you do not know all the types of research methods, So you don't know how to compare these different types of research methods and select the most appropriate one. Best approach for this is, first select the research topic or the research question that you would like to explore. Let's say, as an example, in my research, for my master's dissertation, what I did was, my research topic was about shared space trade. So uh, then I started from this, right? So the my research topic was how find out the factors for a successful shared space trade design. Okay, now this is the research question I had. Now, then my next approach was to find the best research method to explore this research question, right? So when exploring this research question, I can take quantitative methods, I can take qualitative methods. So if I select the qualitative method, I would go with like, okay, I will take whatever the shared space design in the world, and I will develop a weighting method, a weighting scale, and I weight. Okay, in this shared space street, these are there. Because of that, this much of mark is given, like that. So I'm not interested in. So we have to always put researchers' value into a research. So I'm not interested in quantitative method. Instead, I'm interested in qualitative method. So then on that sense, I like, how should I say, eliminated or avoid all the other research methods particular to quantitative methods. So I narrowed it down to qualitative method. Now, within qualitative methods also, there are different types of research strategies I can use. Like, as an example, case study method, grounded theory method, and other types of disclosure analysis. There are kind of research methods we can use, content analysis types. There are different types. So out of these types, you can always just search for qualitative research method if you are interested in that part. Then you will come across with a list of qualitative research methods, and then see whether these research methods are matching with your research question. And in terms of different types of research methods, I selected observation method. So for your case, you can select either case study methods. So it depends on the researcher really. You will decide which research method to use, right? So out of these qualitative, different types of qualitative methods, you will select one method because of this reason. And you will mention this reason even in your research proposal to show, to justify that you are making this decision with a rationale, not ad hoc, like, okay, I know only this research method. Let's say I know only case study method, because of that I'm using. You can't say like that. You have to say like, okay, for my research question, to explore my research question, the most appropriate research method is this. Because of that, you are selecting this. So I think as an approach, first most important thing is find a specific research question and then try to narrow down to a particular research method that you are going to explore. So from the research methods and events lecture series also, you may have seen many research methods. The researchers use different research methods. As an example, I used grounded theory method in one research, and the next research I will use case study method. So there are different reasons for choosing the research methods. And also, Yiching, you use two different terms, research methods and research methodologies.
Yeah, they're different. I know they're different.
You know that.
So, yeah. So for our terms,
Does it
it's
help,
like a method.
Yiching? Yeah.
Okay. Another question so I'm just like going the process because you said like using questions define what actually method you want to take. So is this question is like a specific question, or sort of can be a question kind of like a little bit a bigger question and include you have some following small questions? Should it be one, or like it doesn't really matter? It could be like multiple questions.
Yeah, Newton. I think the answer is you need to have, do you know the difference between the research problem and research question?
Can you explain that? I know that from like maybe a surface understanding, but
Yes, like I think uh, for the scale of yours, like let's say the PhD research is different from master's research, and then within the master's research also, if you are doing a small research proposal, then the scale will be again narrowed down. Need to be, yeah. And if let's say if you are taking the same research proposal to your dissertation, it should be something you can achieve within 3 months. I think the dissertation period is 3 months, isn't it?
Okay, I got it. I thought it
So
was going to
the
be
research
very
proposal, yeah,
okay.
the research proposal need to be developed to that scale actually. So
Okay.
yeah. So in terms of that, so what I was explaining, yeah, the difference between the research problem and the research question. Research problem is always broad.
Yeah.
Like let's say in my research, the research problem was how to design a successful shared space street. So it's broad. So when I'm exploring this topic, research topic, the research question is always small in scale than the research problem. And I may have few research questions within my research. So I want to first explore, let's say, the same research if I use successful share, how to design a successful shared space street would be the research problem. And within that, research questions would be, what are the factors affecting for the successfulness? Will be one research question. And the second research question would be, okay, if I find out what are the factors affecting to the successfulness, and then the next research question would be, what are the methods and approaches, design methods I can use to make it success. Can you see now?
Okay.
The research problem
Very
is
clear.
divided into few research questions. In a way, I can achieve that research problem.
Okay, I understand it now. Yes, it's very clear. So the research question contains actually two parts of it. One is the problem, which is in like a bigger scale of thinking, and then in order to achieve or solve the problem, you're asking several questions, or can be a few questions, and then in order to solve those questions, you have to develop a method in order
And
to achieve it.
not always to Yeching. It depends on your research.
Ah,
So
yes.
so from your research problem, you will like let's say break into parts your research
Yeah, breaking
problem,
apart.
and
Yeah.
through that you will decide what are a number of research questions. So some research has got 5 research questions, and some research got only 2 questions. Like that, it
Yeah.
depends on the.
Yeah, like for example, like if I want to do like a city void, you know, and then that's a quite vast, like it's in different cities, and each city has their own like space like that. So you probably having a big question, and then you maybe it has to be narrowed down in a case study in different city and different countries. And then it's in order to solve the problem, sometimes it could be, is this isn't really a problem? Sometimes I find the books was really questioning that. It's maybe let it exist, or finding another benefits of having those things.
Yes.
So yeah, I can see that. So could be the other way around. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the most important thing is like defining your research question or the research problem using the literature. You want to see actually from the literature whether there's a problem to explore through your research. Because if your research question is already answered through the existing literature, there is no point of doing that research, isn't it? So clearly try to identify, is there actually a research question exists, define it, and then try to find the answer for that. And try to find the best method to explore that research question.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Good, Yashing. I hope that helps.
Yeah, it helps. Oh, and also, when is this the deadline for this 2,000 words essay?
Let me
Because
see.
I remember Lucy sent several emails to clarify the deadline. It was a little bit confusing, like because we've got several essays, like the one for city and urbanism, and then the one for RME. So they're actually in different times. So it's like which and which.
Yeah, I think we got the answer. Let's see. Okay, Natasha has mentioned here 17th December, but when I go to your the brief, RME brief, it says bear with me 1 second. Let me first check. Let me share it with you so we can see it together. So here is the most updated one I'm using. So you can see all the most updated lectures here. So here, submission deadline, 24th June 2022 at 9 a.m. Can you see my screen actually? Sorry.
Yes, I can.
So, yeah.
So the 24th of June next year.
2022. Yes.
So for this 2,000 words
This
essay.
2000 word paper presenting a summary of your individual plan for research.
But I remember like Lucy mentioned another one that's the end of this year. Like I'm not quite sure if she's talking about this one or the another one.
Yeah, that's why I'm going to cities and urbanism. Let's see if they are. There also we have an essay, presentations and essay. For the essay, the submission is on 18th January. Can you see the screen? Or are you seeing the RME brief or the CU brief?
The CU is the 3,000 words essay submit at January, and then the other one submit at June.
June, yes.
Okay.
That's how it says on the.
And then there's another one is 1,000 words in the. Yeah, this one, the first one, the summary. Is this about our final like define 3 questions for each one? I
think that it says group work. Let me go and see.
Because it's in the RME brief, so the question to the literature.
Yeah, I also want to ask that because what we're going to base on of that 1,000 group work, is that the guest lectures or I mean like the lectures you give to us?
Right, it's a good question actually. Contribution to the organization of symposium, outline the expertise of each speaker. Right. What I'm not sure is like through of course, from the lecture series, what you need to do, outline the expertise of each speaker and identify 3 questions for each one. And the 1,000-word summary documentation. Your contribution to the organization of the symposium. This is for the symposium, as I understand. The symposium, if you can see here, it's about part 2. So the 1,000 words summary is for part 2. Student will collaborate in the organization and delivery of a symposium themed around the pertinent topic, urban issue. This involves the development of a topic, research into potential speakers. I think this is for this.
And this is the same deadline with the 2,000 words?
As I get, it's like that.
So we basically like
Sorry,
writing.
I'm not too sure about it. Let's put this question to Lucy. And yes, so now I have to ask, now I have to, by next week, I will answer two questions. One is whether this same proposal, research proposal, goes to the dissertation. And the second question is the 1,000 words. When should we submit, isn't it? Is that the question we have?
Yeah.
Summary
Yeah.
document
So about the context of the 1,000 word.
and the context,
Yeah.
whether it relates to part 1 or part 2.
Mm.
Yeah, so
So definitely the 2,000 words part is about the research proposal. We are clear with this. And what we are not clear is about this 1,000 word summary, isn't it?
yeah.
And also, do we have tutorials about the word the essay that we write?
Like this 2000,
Yeah,
right?
I was wondering if we have tutorials so we can talk to some teachers about the work that we've done.
All whatever the sessions organized are here. I'm not sure about out of these session plan, there is no other sessions. So I think the drop-in sessions are there to help you
Okay.
regarding the essays. So
Oh,
it's good that we have these drop-in sessions today, because from this only you have that we know that you have these questions. So let me ask these questions from Lucy, and I will get back to you by next week, because next week also at this time we have a drop-in session I'll be conducting. So I will come back with answers, right?
okay. I think at the first week we had a sort of like a discussion with different tutors. That one was belongs to the dissertation section. So in our module. So is that the thing?
You mean the 7th December essay tutorial?
Yeah. So is it related to
I
like
think
our
that's for
final?
this one.
Yeah. So do we have more of that, or we will have in the future, like when next year or January when we submit it, or like what's the actually the organization of it?
Yeah, I think the apart from this drop-in sessions, 7th December and 14th December are the 2 days you will have essay tutorials.
Do you want me to confirm anything?
Sorry.
Hi, Chatu. I've dropped in
Hi, Lucy.
some questions more about procedural stuff.
Yes,
Is
please.
there anything I can help with?
Yeah, the students were asking about these submission deadlines, Lucy. So when I went through this research methods brief, it says there are two submissions. One is 1,000 word summary documentation and a 2,000 word paper presenting the summary of the research proposal. What they ask is, what is this 1,000 word is about? Because as they have got 2,000 word is about the research proposal, and what is this 1,000 word summary documentation is about, and when is the deadline for this?
Where are you looking for the 1,000 word summary?
The RME brief. Shall I share with you?
Sure, or I can share whichever's easier. But if you want that section highlighted, that'd be helpful. Make sure we're all
Yeah.
same literal page. Oh,
Yeah.
the event. Oh, I see what you're looking at.
Yeah.
Okay, let me make it bigger so I can see it as well on my screen. So what you need to bear in mind is that this module is research methodologies and events. So at the moment you're working on the research methods element of that. There is also the event element, which is the symposium at the end of the year. So if Chatu, if you're able to scroll back up to the first section called description, that'd be perfect. Yes, that bit there. So you see there's part 1, outline proposal, and part 2 is the symposium. And this is scheduled in the timetable. Sorry to do this to you, Chatu, but if you just go below that area, down to timetable. Yep, so we've got all that research methods stuff, and then further down, later on, we'll have the events section. So there will be a symposium later on in the year, which you'll be involved in organising, but that's not something that you're going to deal with just now. So the submission under assessment is separated into event, which is a record of your contribution to the organisation of the symposium, and an essay, which is your research proposal. So those two elements are not, because there's those two elements which are submitted for this module, you can't formally submit them until the end of June, when you've had the symposium as well. Of course.
So actually this one is related to part 2 and this one is related to part 1. Is it right?
Yeah.
Right. And the other question they had was, Lucy, this same the same research proposal, should they use for the dissertation, or can they use a different one for the dissertation, or is this the only proposal that they can use for the dissertation?
So we will go through a brief for your dissertation in the second term when you start that module. At the moment, what you're being asked to do is develop a research proposal, which is your plan of work for your dissertation. It's putting together an outline, just an initial outline of what you intend to do for your dissertation. That includes the initial literature review, your proposed research question, your proposed research methods, and a short bibliography, which is just whatever the sources are that you have used to support your proposal so far. So that is something which you should have been developing just now, as we've discussed previously, and which Chatu has been able to support additionally with these extra sessions just now. We've also got a dissertation review later on in the term, and the opportunity for tutorials too. So you're going to, the dissertation is a separate module, yeah, separate, which you start in term 2. And that will have its own brief. This is just the brief for research methodologies and events. I hope that's clear. Please feel free to ask just now if it's not.
Thank you, Lucy. Those are the two questions I was struggling to answer because of not knowing the context.
Hi Lucy. When is the 2000 word paper due? I mean, in this it says it's on 18th of January. If you see on the timetable. So is it due on the 18th?
No, on the 18th of January it says you submit not recent methods.
Sorry.
Clear, Lucy. No, not yet. There's a sound going on in there.
Yeah, I'm getting some strange buzzing as well. Can you hear me better now?
Yes, now we can hear you.
Changed anything? It's just the magic of the internet. So let me share my screen so you can see exactly what we're looking at. Right. Can you see that?
Yes,
Yeah?
we can see you. Yeah.
Okay, great. So the research methods brief, scrolling down, scrolling down, scrolling down. I think what you're referring to is 18th of January in the timetable, where it says submit CU, submit cities and urbanism, not submit research methods. The submission deadline for research methods is the 24th of June at 9 a.m. Yeah? This is just a little placeholder in here to remind you that that week you might not have any teaching for research methods, but you do have to submit cities and urbanism. If we go across to the cities and urbanism brief, you will see that 18th of Jan, submission. Submission deadline under assessment, 18th of January. Yeah, they're two separate modules. Does that answer your question, Samriddhi?
Yeah, and also there was a confusion about the 17th December date. I mean, is there any submission which is due on the 17th of December? We can't hear
We
you.
can't hear you again.
Remember, there's an email that you were like, I think it's Lucy. You sent it to us. Like you were talking about the submission date, something at December. Yeah, I kind of received that email too.
Yeah, and I think on our Moodle page also it shows a 17th December due submission. So what is supposed to be uploaded on 17th?
Sure. Can't hear me? Can you tell me for which module you're talking about?
I think is it the dissertation essay we have to submit with the research methodologies and what we are trying to do and the questions initial for the boot camp
So,
on 17th December. It's a 2000-word essay you'd asked us to write with the information about what research methodologies and what questions are we going to use.
so it's to do with research methods, then the submission is formally at the end of June. If you've got a particular email that has something in it that you're not understanding, could someone forwarded it to me now rather than us guessing which thing it is? And I will keep a look at my emails and have a look. A screenshot coming maybe. Part 1, outline proposal due the 17th of December. Outline proposal, that's in, oh, it's not showing as being in a module. Research methodologies on events. Let me have a look.
Yeah, I think I found the email. It says that we have to submit a draft of the part 1 RME submission, and you need to submit a draft of this by the end of the term, which is 17th December. So this is the, can I just forward it to you?
Yeah, that's fine. But I think you've just answered the question yourself, which is that it's a draft submission.
Okay.
So what I said was that it was a draft so that we can allocate you to if possible, to a tutor that's most closely aligned to your topic.
Okay, so this is just for the purpose of, assigning us with a tutor. It's not anything to do with the marking or anything, because yeah, that's what everyone wanted to ask, if we would have any in-person or discussion regarding our topic, so that we would be better able to decide on what methodologies are to be taken, so like a guidance to our topic.
Yeah, so if you can, I'm still sharing my screen, I think. If you can see here, on the 7th of December, you have essay tutorials, which just help you with student algorithm. But also then on the 14th, you have a dissertation review in the morning. Yeah, so this is an opportunity, much like the dissertation bootcamp at the beginning of the term, to touch base again with the tutors in a drop-in style sessions, but all in parallel. All the staff will be available to discuss how your work is developing through this. What we want you to do is then on the 17th submit a draft of your proposal so that we can allocate you to tutors. That's not a submission for assessment. It's not being assessed at that point. It's just so that we can see what you've done so far, what your topic's going to be, so that we can allocate you to tutors.
Okay, yeah, I think that makes it clear, because we thought that it's for the purpose of assessment, and then we weren't really confident about what methods are to be chosen, or like a guidance for that. So we thought it was for the purpose of marking. So I think now it makes it clear that okay, it's just for the purpose of allocation. So then further discussion can be done with our personal tutors regarding our topics.
Yeah, so I'm looking at the shot which Drew has helpfully posted, and as it says there, submit a draft by the end of term, 17th December, so that you can be matched with tutors to supervise your dissertation. Yeah, and then at the end it says very clearly, submission is not final until 24th of June when you submit it, along with part 2, which is the symposium element, as it says there. Okay. Happy to clarify these things if you ever get confused. It is important that you submit that draft, otherwise we will just allocate your tutor at random. And it's important that you're developing all this work as you go along. You can't leave it until the end of the year to do that, obviously, because it's what leads into your dissertation in the second term. The support for that, of course, is not going to be all tutorials and one-on-one. There have been a series of lectures for research methods. Let's go back to that here. The introduction to research methods, research design, contextualization, methodologies and methods, as well as, of course, the series of urban research lectures that followed. But these core lectures were all there to support you in how to develop your proposal. And those are all still available for you to revisit, crucially, on the Moodle page. So you can go back and watch them again, or if you missed them, you can see them for the first time. You can take screenshots from that. All the slides are there as well as the recordings. So you are expected to develop your proposal quite independently at postgraduate level of study, and then you will have opportunities to discuss it with a tutor. But it's not a tutorial based module where you have tutorial every week to help you develop that proposal. The other place that you can look for support, and that is Chapter's lecture last week, which is also recorded and available on Moodle, which was a very, very good example. She really broke it down very carefully, how to develop research proposal, research questions, how to choose methods. So please revisit that as well as another excellent example of how to apply all of the generic things in the other core lectures that I mentioned at the top here. So let me show you quickly where those are, so you can be completely clear. Let me just go back to the right part of the Moodle. Bear with me. So here we go. Okay, I trust that you can see that page okay. And if you go to Research Methodologies and Events on Moodle, under Research Methods Lectures, there's the lecture recordings here for all the lectures so far. So lecture 1 was Introduction to Research Methods, lecture 2 was Research Design, lecture 3 was Literature Reviewing and Contextualization, lecture 4 was Methodology, Methods and Ethics. Okay, so all the components that you need so far to put together an outline proposal are there. And then the opportunity for you to get feedback and ask questions is through drop-in sessions and the dissertation review towards the end of term. I really hope that's a lot clearer now and has managed to tidy up any confusion. If anyone's still a bit muddled about it, please just ask now. No? Okay. I hope that's helped.
Thank you, Lucy.
If anybody goes away, thinks about it, and decides they're confused later, then you can email me or you can speak to your student reps who can collate any collective confusion and relay it to me, and I can send out an email to clarify things. Okay? I'll get out off the line now and leave you to chat to you about your ideas and any problems you're having other than that. Okay?
Thank you, Lucy.
No worries. Okay, bye for now.
Bye. Okay, guys, I hope all the procedural questions and the submission deadline questions are solved. And if you have any questions with the research proposal, when developing the research proposal, whatever you get, you can ask from me in detail. What's best is like start it from somewhere, because next week also I will be meeting. So it's really good if you start with finding a research problem and then developing a topic, finding a topic and a research problem and research question. Start with this, and when you are start developing this only, you will get further questions, and then you can ask from me the points which you need to clear in terms of the research proposal. As Lucy said, you need to develop a draft by 17 December. It's almost like you have only 1 month to develop your draft. So the best point is start developing it now, and then we can meet next week and discuss further questions. So till that, if you have any questions, I'm here to help. Any more questions? Do you know how to narrow down a literature review? Because I said you need to justify your research problem and the research question using the literature. So do you know how to do a literature review?
Yeah, like want to ask that question actually, because initial literature review, and then we have got question, method, and bibliography. So the first part is the literature review. We've got different tutors, and they're presenting their work every week. And should that be kind of like what kind of a context, we need to put all those things contextualized in the one article, and then should that be what kind of like context is it?
Yes, let me quickly search whether I have a to presentation for the literature review, so which I can show quickly. I have a graph. I'm not sure is whether I have it on my hand now. With me 1 second. No. Okay. In terms of the literature review, the most important thing is you can easily get lost in the literature forest because there are lots of literature. So you need to first narrow down. Selecting a narrow research topic itself will give you limited literature, because if you select a broad topic, you will get loads of literature. Let's say if you are trying to do a research on new urbanism. Now, new urbanism itself, the concept is broad, so you will have lots of literature. So instead of that, you will narrow it down. Within the new urbanism, you will explore one concept, maybe. Let's say the walkability within the neighborhoods. So then you will just do, let's say from your library or from the Google Scholar, you will just search those type of literature. How to improve the walkability within the neighborhoods using the new urbanism concept. Let's say like that. I'm just giving you examples, not the research ideas. So you are searching on that. Then you will select the literature only on that. So then you will go through with all these literature specific to a particular topic, and then out of those literature you will find a robust, let's say a complete research problem. You will find a research question while you are reading this literature. So I think that's the best approach to start with the literature. Having a broad topic will lead you to lots of literature, and having a specific topic will lead you to specific set of literature. So it's easy to select this literature set out of that. Did I answer you, Ching?
Yeah, I got it. Now I have a very clear kind of framework of how it works actually. Yes, okay, now I understood. It's actually helping you. So it's like kind of like a answering each like this kind of logical step.
Yes,
So
exactly.
helping you define So one is helping you define the problem, the question. Another one is helping to solve. Okay, I got it. Everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the literature you can use for different purposes. One thing is, of course, as I said, to confirm your research question. And the other thing, most important thing is defining the key terms. Let's say the same example. Let's say from my example, from my research on shared space read, the literature can be used to define the key terms. What is shared space read? Because shared space reads itself have different can be interpreted by different people in different ways. So you should have your own working definition confirmed through the literature. So defining the key terms also another way to use the literature. Define the key terms using the literature and define your research problem and the research question using the literature. As Yi Ching said, it should be a logical process. Your research question should lead you to a logical process, research process as well. And yes, those are the things. And sometimes uh, literature can be used at the findings stage as well, but this you don't need it at the moment, because at the moment you are trying to develop the research proposal itself. When you are doing the actual research at the dissertation stage, there also you can use literature to confirm uh, to some of your research findings, but I'm not going to explain it at this stage because it will be too much for you.
Sorry, just with another question I want to ask about literature. So while when you're doing the research,
Yeah.
or you start from like one point, so there are like when you search it, you probably have a lots of it. You know, when you have a vast topic, and then should you actually read all of them, or this can be books, can be journals, can be a lot of things, and then should actually read all of them, and then like this process sounds like a lot of time consuming,
Exactly.
so to really have a good topic. So is
I
that
know your
actually
question.
the process?
Yeah,
Is
it's
actually
also a very valid question, because if you keep on reading all these books and all the pages of it, you will not be able to do your research. First thing is that the best thing to do this is like first selecting your literature. When selecting your literature, let's say you will find the let's say journal article. You don't need to read the whole journal article to understand it. Best thing is go to the preface, or in a book if it's a book, or read the abstract. If it's a journal paper, read the abstract, because abstract is the actual summary of the journal paper. So from the abstract you will understand. Mostly the abstracts are categorized under background, research method, findings. So though the abstract is 200 word or 300 words, it's there, the summary is there. So from that summary you will understand, okay, this is more, let's say this is more economic based paper, so then you don't need that paper sometimes. Sometimes from the abstract you will understand, oh, okay, this is really interesting, this is absolutely matching with my research question, then you will select that. Likewise, don't read whole book, or don't read whole paper, journal paper. Just read the abstract. And first, okay, I will tell you another tip for this. Let's say when you are going to conduct the literature, you will have specific questions. Let's say defining the key terms is one. So you will make a folder for this. And then when you are going, when you go through with the reading, you will understand, okay, this is related to this. Let's say define the key terms. This paper is good for the key terms. Then you will store in your folder. Then let's say this is good for your research method. Then you have a separate research folder, folder in your file computer. Then you will store that file in that computer, in that folder. So likewise, uh, first break your topic into small topics, and then select specific type of literature, and don't read the whole book or the whole paper. read the abstract and try to figure it out, okay, this is related to your specific topic or not, and then store it in your files and then go through with reading and highlight them, the necessary points in your paper. Let's say now you have selected, okay, this paper is really good to your research, and then you will highlight whatever the points applicable to your research. Then you will write it in your research proposal from your own words. Remember not to copy and paste the things on the research, the things on the journal paper or a book. Don't copy and paste into your research proposal. It will increase your severities, and it will be understood as, it will be recognized as a plagiarism. So highlight them in the PDF and then type it from your own words in your research proposal.
Okay, so is that like paraphrase them?
Paraphrasing, yes.
Okay, great. Okay, yeah, that's very clear. That's very good tip, by the way. Yeah, it's very like a down to earth talking, you know. It's like I guess everyone would understand that.
Thank you, Eugene. I'm glad to hear that it's helpful.
It's very helpful. Yeah. Right. I think I've got um yeah, my question being answered.
Answer? Okay, good.
Leave for other students.
Okay. We have another 5 or 10 minutes if I have any questions. Have you all started selecting a research topic?
Like for me, I have a kind of like a big vast topic, like I said. Um, like but like you said, I need to do this literature review at first, and then really to narrow down what actually this kind of topic applies to different like urban like air cities, and then in order to really know what I'm actually doing. So, because at beginning we had this dissertation talk with different tutors, and then it was kind of like a really an initial talk, and we need to write 500 words. You know, at that moment it was like, okay, so what we should be writing about. But now
Yeah.
it's like more clear of how should we doing, how should we do this.
Okay. Glad to hear, Yiching. Actually, if you don't have any more questions, I found that literature review presentation from me. I can show it to you. Do you have any more questions? Or shall I show?
Yeah,
Yeah,
please
I
show
think
that.
you can show it. Because most of us haven't, I think after the dissertation boot camp, we still need to research on our topics and we are still busy. We have our Studio A submission next week, so I think everyone is pretty much busy with that. So once
Our
that is
hands
done,
are.
I think most of the people will be able to focus just on the dissertation, so that will make us come up with more questions that time.
Right. Okay, Samruddhi. Let me, as we have only 10 minutes now, let me quickly show you. This is actually this is not made for you. This for I made this for the PhD students. So don't take it. When I was in second year, I prepared this. So if you can see, I will quickly go through. This is what is the literature review. This will be too much for you. This is a research framework, the way we are going to do research through the literature review and data collection. This is also too much for you. Yeah, this is what I wanted to show you. How to do the literature review and how to confirm the literature review through the research, through a literature review. The most important thing is there are three types of literature. A literature which give you the background information about the topic, a broad picture it will give you. Let's say if it's plan, how should I say, if it's about cities and if it's about disaster resilience, what is disaster resilience, what is a city, define all the concepts. That's a broad picture. Then studies that are directly related to my research. Then you will select another set of literature directly relating to your topic. Then there are another set of specific literature which you use to confirm your research gap. So there are actually three levels of literature that you can use in your research. And then again, this is again managing data. I explain, narrow how to store your literature by breaking down your topic into different types of different folders, and then store. Select the correct literature paper and store in this folder. That's how you are going to manage. The resources can be books, key journals, conference papers, and you can use Google Scholar, or someone means our Huddersfield University's library system. In Manchester Metropolitan University, you have your own library. So from that library, select the literature and then save them into separate folders. Maintain a summary document under each folder, and then summary document contain the topic that I wanted to explore. Something like that. Yes, this is again too much. Make sure the research question is not too broad or not too narrow. It's manageable. It should be manageable. And then place each work in the context of its contribution to understand the subject under review. And then resolve the conflicting among seemingly contradictory previous studies. Yeah, from the previous studies, see whether your research question has already been answered. If not, find a specific research question which has not been answered yet. And also, but keep in mind the manageable. The research topic need to be manageable. I know it looks like a bit complicated, but make it a start. My advice is make it a start, then only you will start getting question. As Samruddhi mentioned, once you finish with your studio work this week, may give it a start, and let's meet next week at this time and let's discuss further questions. Is it all right?
Yes, I think that was very helpful. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Samruddhi. Okay, then if you don't have any more questions, I will end the session. Thank you very much. See you all next week.
Thank you,
Thank
Chachi.
you. See you.
See you.
See you.
Thank
Yeah.
you.